Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing an eye tutorial and I put up on my Instagram, which I linked in the last video, which was the testing Revolution Conceal and Define. I put on my Instagram a poll to see which of the Reloaded palettes you liked, and it was pretty unanimous. You can see that Velvet Rose, and it was 100%. So I am going to be creating a look using the Revolution Reloaded palette, which is the Velvet Rose one, which is this nice sort of sultry, quite nude, but got like that mauve colour in there, which I think I'm going to use today. So let's do some eye makeup. I'm just going to zoom you in. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to go in with my Revolution Conceal and Define in C1, just to prime my lids. Just blend that in. As you can see, I've already got my brows on, which I do tend to do my brows first in my makeup. And what I'm going to do today, I'll show you how I prime my eyes, but I'm going to do one eye on camera and then go off and do the other eye just to save a bit of time. And then I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay primer potion. This is just the original one. Hasn't got much of a pigment to it. It's got a little bit sort of like a flesh coloured pigment to it, but it's really good for mattifying the lids out, because I get quite greasy in the crease, like oily, so obviously this just helps to keep my eyeshadow in place all day. And I found the best way to put this on is with a beauty blender and like stamp it out. Don't try to swipe it. Then find that that just lifts the concealer from underneath. I don't know if you can see how mattified that has made my eyes look. You do have to play about with this one to get used to it, because like I say, it's quite mattifying, and it can be a bit sticky. So when you put in eyeshadows over the top of it, it can take you a little bit of getting used to blending them. So let's go ahead and put some makeup on. So to start with, I'm going to take just this one for now, just to really brighten up under my brow bone. And I'm going to use, because they don't have a mirror in the palette, I'm just going to use my Imogenation eyeshadow palette just to blend these into my eyes. So as you can see, that's quite just a flesh coloured. It's more just to make it easier to blend any of the darker colours, because I'm going for quite a sultry sort of blown out look today. And then I'm going to just take a nice fluffy brush. You can see that? A nice fluffy brush. And I'm going to take the, which way do they go? The fourth one in the row, which is the one next to the gold, which is like a mauvey pink colour, which looks quite dark actually. And like I say, there is a little bit of fallout with these, so that's why I'm doing my eyes first before my face. I'm gonna stamp that into my crease. And then just blend out with window wiper motions. And this colour, because I'm doing quite a blown out look, I like to bring it out onto the outer corner as well. I find it helps blend the darker colours later, giving it a little base to lay on. And then I'm going to take on the side at the end, holding it at the brush at the end, and just window wiper motions just to blend that out a bit. These are blending quite well. Like I say, the palette's only £4, so I don't mind putting that little bit of effort in, especially for the pigment that you get in. As you can see from this side to this side, you can see the amount of pigment you get in. And then I'm just going to go back with my original brush, which is the one that I just used for that flesh coloured eyeshadow, and just blend that on the edge. No, I've not taken up any extra product. And then to really deepen up that crease, I'm going to take, upside down, I'm going to take this middle shade, which is kind of like a brick red colour. And the reason I'm using a smaller blending brush is because I really want to concentrate this to the crease, and it just helps with that tapered shape, just to keep it where you want it. As you can see how pigmented that is. And then I'm bringing these again onto the outer corner like I did with the last one, but I'm not bringing this shadow in quite as close to the inner corner as I did on the last one. The last colour I brought quite far in. This one I'm just going to blend to sort of 3/4 of the way in, and then blend it out. I like to bring it out so that you'll be able to blend it onto the lower lash line later. If you just sort of follow, you'll be able to see where sort of your corner should be going to. And then taking the last brush, I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of that mauvey colour on the brush, because it's just losing a little bit of that colour. And then just blend that along that top line, just out to that V. So most of the time you don't need to pick up any excess pigment if you're wanting to blend, but if you feel like you're losing those colours, just keep going backwards and forwards. It's just a look you have to take your time with. I like to use this brush to blend all of the edges. It just gives it that soft, sultry look. Just keeps it nice and soft, but keeps that pigment there as well. It just blends off those edges a little bit. And I always like to keep a clean, big, fluffy brush, which has got no pigment on whatsoever. I use this one for blending out all of my looks, so I don't actually use any shadow on this brush. And I just take this on the edge, and it just softens that edge completely. Okay, as you can see, it's opened that eye up nicely, bringing it out towards the edge of the brow. And then I'm going to now take a Morphe, just a flat brush, and then I am going to take this colour down in the corner, which has got a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's the closest we've got to a black in here. And I'm going to press that into my lash line, but not going all the way over, keeping it just to sort of halfway there, and following that line that we created earlier. As you can see, you're just creating a wing without using any liner. And then taking the brush before, which we used that brick red colour on, and blending that out so that it's not harsh on the lash line like a normal eyeliner. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with the first brush we used and just blend out so we don't look like we've got a solid wing. Because like I say, we want to be able to blend that into the lower lash line earlier, so we don't want any harsh lines, because otherwise that'll make it harder to blend the lower lash line. You need to pick up just a tiny bit more of that first pigment, just to keep from looking sort of blurry, just keeping that pigment there. And then what I'm going to do with that flat brush, just ever so slightly, tiny bit of pigment, tap off any excess. I'm just going to take that and move a little bit closer, just going to take that into the start of my crease, just to add a bit of definition into the crease. And blend into that wing and into the outer corner. And then again, taking the brick red colour, it's all about blending, and because I'm going for that sultry, grungy, sort of smoked out look, it doesn't have to be really neat. You're not doing a cut crease, oh, pins and needles, you're not doing a cut crease or a halo eye or anything like that, so you can just keep going and blending and blending and blending, which can take a little bit of time. But you just want that outer corner to be nice and dark and blended. And as you can see, it's just adding that winged out smoky look onto the outer corner. And then just go in, because like I said, we've lost a little bit of that mauvey colour just from all of the blending. Just take a little bit more and bring a little bit more brightness back into that inner corner and that inner third of the eye. because you want that cat-like shape. You want to be nice and bright on the inner corner and smoking and winging it out. As you can see, this outer corner is nice and dark. I'm really starting to blend it now. And like I say, the only thing you can do with these looks is just keep blending. And they do tend to look a little, it sounds silly, but they do tend to look a little bit messy until you've finished off and brought them all into the under eye and you've got your mascara and everything on and you've cleaned up with concealer. They do tend to look just a little bit messy. As you can see, that line's not very sharp, but once we put our concealer on and we blend into the under eye, they will be, it'll look all nice and blended and, like I say, nice and smoky and sultry onto that outer corner. Okay, so I've finished, well, not finished off, but I've done this eye and I've put my foundation on, so then I can show you like how I clean up with concealer. But before we move on to that, I'm gonna pick a shimmer for like this very inner corner, like inner portion of my eye. Not really sure. There's a few glitters and then there's a few falls. I don't know if to go. Let's have a swatch of them all. See which one we prefer. Okay, so we've got this one, just like a pink rosy gold colour. We've got this one which is like a true burgundy pink. Oh, that's nice. It's like a brick red, and then we've got like a true gold, which is quite pale actually. Might use that for my brow bone, because that is quite pale. I think I might actually use this one to blend, and then this one just in sort of right in the inner portion. So I'm just going to take a small flat brush, and first I'm going to take that rose goldy colour, which is this first one on the bottom row. Hope if I zoomed you in a bit more you can see what's going on. Okay, so let's put this on to this inner portion. This is not wet either, so I'll put some on and then see if we need to damp this down to get any better sort of metallic payoff from it. But Revolution are normally pretty good with it. I mean, you can see already like the colour payoff from that and the pigment. And then, because this is a double-ended, it's a Revolution Pro sort of double-ended blending brush, I'm just going to take the other end that's got no pigment on it and just blend that out a little bit so that we've got no harsh lines of like metallic. Okay, so as you can see, I've now matched up this eye with the inner corner shimmer, well, inner sort of third shimmer, and I've cleaned off my brush that I used, and then I'm going to take this on the middle row, this shimmer here, which is like a bronze pinky bronze colour, and I'm going to take this, as you can see, let's see if we can get, it's quite a dark shimmer, so this will be nice just to blend everything together but brighten up that inner, I mean, look at that pigment. And then just taking the other end of this brush, which is, like I said, the same brush, and just blending over that line. And as you can see, there's no harsh lines, just blends together really nicely. I must say, the metallics and the foils in this palette are easier to blend than the mattes, but for £4 I don't mind putting in the little bit of extra work. Okay, so that's both eyes now with both of those shimmers on, and I'm now finished with that brush, and I'm just going to take a faded off Real Techniques base shadow brush, I think it says. I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to take that brick red that we've been using to blend everything out with, just very little bit on the brush, tapping off all that excess, and just make sure everything is blended seamlessly. Like I say, this look does take a little bit of time, a little bit of work, but it's definitely worth it once it's all finished. Okay, if you find you get any harsh lines or anything like that once you're blending that, just go back with the brush that you used for the mauve colour and just window wipe that along any of those edges. Okay, as you can see, the eye look is really starting to come together now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I've got no fallout stuck to any of the foundation. Just a tiny bit. So I'm just going to take my beauty blender, just very lightly just brush over that, and then just press down the foundation again to make sure I haven't shifted anything. I'm wearing, today I've put the Porefessional Benefit Primer on, and I've gone over with the Revolution Pro Conceal and no, not Revolution Pro, Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation in C2. And then I'm going to use the Revolution Concealer in C1. Just do one eye, and then you can see how I used to clean up. Just take a little bit on the end of the doe foot and just swipe that right up towards my hairline, making the line that I want this eyeshadow to follow. And then just because we've gone quite dark on the lid and on the eye, I'm just going to take some of the white in the Revolution Conceal and Define and just brighten up just sort of this little inner portion closest to my nose, just to keep that nice and bright. Taking the pointy end of my beauty blender or any beauty sponge, or if you prefer a brush with a flat end, and then just softly tap out, being careful not to obviously disturb your line that you've created. And then just blend your concealer as you normally would. It does look really bright, but once you've got all of the rest of your powder products on, blended out that under eye, it's going to blend nicely. Concealer does always look a bit strange until you've got the rest of your powder products on. But as you can see, just adding that touch of white, how much brighter and wider my eye looks compared to this one. And like you say, I've just created that nice clean line there. So I'm going to go off camera, finish the rest of my concealer, put all my powder products on, and then we'll be back to finish off the eyes. Okay, so now I've got my full face on. As you can see, eyes aren't quite looking as scary and as white now. I've just gone in with a bit of bronzer a flush of colour on my cheeks, not too heavy, just a little bit. Just doing this side out a little bit. Just a little flush of colour and some highlight. So let's finish under my eyes now. So I'm going to take that flat brush that we use for the black and pick up some of that black again and just take this right along to near enough the inner corner. Just let it taper out a little bit as you get towards the inner corner. And then I'm going to take the brush that we use for the brick red, just ever so tiny bit on there, just to blend that outer corner into the top lash line. Like I say, it doesn't have to be too tidy because it is supposed to be quite a sultry, soft look. But that just wings out that and connects that. As you can see, that looks a bit disjointed. That just connects that into the top top colours on the top lid. Just bring that slightly in, just to smoke it out, and then do the same on this side. Okay, and then I'm just going to take that first eyeshadow brush that we used, which was the one with the flesh colour, and I'm going to mix the flesh, sort of the flesh pinky tone, with the mauve, just mix it on the brush, and then I'm just going to smoke that out completely. Like I say, if you just want to go with the black and then the red brick colour just to connect it all, you can just do that. But I'm just going for like full blown out smoky look today. Your lower lash line, you can do as little or as much as you want. It's all sort of personal preference. Okay, and then to keep that inner corner nice and bright so that it does give you that nice cat winged out look, I'm just going to take a small sort of pencil style brush, it's a bit thicker than a pencil brush, and take the highlighter which I've used, which is the Revolution Pro Supreme Highlighter, and load that into my inner corner and just bring it ever so slightly down onto the lower lash line, just to connect with where you finished your blending. I just like to blend it up into that first colour that we used on the upper lid. It just ties the whole look together, so you've got no harsh lines. Okay, so I'm just going to put some mascara on. I think I'm going to put a bit of eyeliner on today, give it that really sultry look, and put some lips on, and I will be back. Okay guys, so this is my final look with everything on, using the Revolution Velvet Rose palette. Like I said, when I was doing this look, the metallics absolute fantastic pigment payoff, blend really well. The mattes do take a little bit of work, but for £4 I'm quite happy to sit and take a little bit longer on my makeup, and it would take a while anyway, so I'm not too bothered. I've just gone with some mascara and eyeliner today. I've not put lashes on, but if you wanted to, you could go with something like a wispy, which are shorter on the inner corner and blend out, are longer on the outer corner, so they accentuate that sort of cat-like look, that sultry look. I've finished off with, on my lips, Cork lip liner by MAC and No. 7 High Shine lip gloss in Whisper, which has got SPF in it, so obviously it's really good for in the summer, just to add a little bit of shine but as well protect your lips. And I am really liking this look, so give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, let me know down below what you want to see. If you want to see more hair tutorials, I've got a couple coming up. I've got some 5-minute tutorials, so if you're running late for work, or if you can't be bothered to get ready and then think, oh my god, I've got 10 minutes to get out the door, that will be up later this week. And remember to turn on the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and you will get notified when that video goes up later this week. And go and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I always put up either little sneak peeks, or I always let you know when my video goes live. I do try to upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday or Saturday, but obviously last week that didn't happen because I had a little bit of a problem when it came to filming or editing really. So I do try to upload 3 times a week, but if you've got that notification bell turned on, you will be told, or you will get a notification if YouTube's working properly. But remember to check back later this week for some more beauty videos, and I will see you all again. Bye!